again, happy Monday. I'll be back in class with you guys tomorrow. So this is your last video lesson. Yay! Or maybe not, maybe you like them better than me. I don't know, but either way you get a good combination. I am on page 23, so you should have reviewed yesterday's homework, or Friday's homework rather, and today, Monday, you're ready to combine reflections and rotations together. So, number 1, reflect figure W, X, Y, Z over the x-axis and label it W prime, X prime, Y prime, Z prime. Okay, then you're going to reflect over the y-axis. So you can count 1, 1, W prime, or you could use the rule, which is to do X, Y goes to, we're going over the x-axis, so keep the X, change the sign of the Y. Either way, it's up to you. 1, 2, 1, 2. 6 away, 6 away, 5 away, 5 away. Okay, connect. Alright, then you're going to reflect that over the y-axis. So again, you may just count. This is going to stay the same. W is going to be 4 away. Z is going to be 5 away. Okay, I know that by looking at the coordinates. So once you know the rule, it's okay to count. You should use the rule until you have it memorized, so that you can answer the questions on the test when I ask you specifically about the rule. There's your rule. Okay, so now it says we can combine a reflection and a rotation into one transformation to make a composition of transformations. So the key is here that it's really going to look like one transformation. So this pre-image is really like a pass-through image, or I call it a ghost. Okay, so when we do these compositions, it's number 1 and 2, that's like doing two things on one graph. Okay, look at the labeling. Down here, it's a composition. I'm going to do two things, but make it look like I did one thing by ghosting in this image. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is graph the triangle. And that's going to be A, B, and C. Remember, you can stop the video, pause the video, rewind the video as needed, or rewatch it. Then I'm going to reflect that over the y-axis. So I'm actually going to write down these points so I can keep track of my work, because I'm not going to fully draw in, oh, I can't see what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm not going to fully draw in the shape. C is at 5, 1. Okay, so this is my pre-image, or my ghost, or my pass-through image. So it says to reflect over the y-axis. So the rule to go over the y-axis is to change the sign of the x and keep the y. So that's going to be negative 2, 3, negative 4, 1, and negative 5, 1. Okay, so I'm going to do that next. This is going over the y-axis, so it should come over here. So negative 2, 3, and do it lightly. Negative 4, 1, because remember it's not really there. Negative 5, 1. So this would be, I'm kind of dotting it in. That would be the image, pass-through image. So now I'm going to take these points and I'm going to rotate 180. The rule for rotation of 180 is to change the sign of both of them. So I started off with a negative 2, 3, negative 4, 1, and negative 5, 1. This would have been A, B, and C. So now I'm going to apply the rule, and that's going to be actually labeled with primes, because it's going to be my first one, because remember that one doesn't count. So 2, negative 3, 4, negative 1, 5, negative 1. I'm hoping that you guys are realizing that if you don't know your rules, you cannot do this work. So it is absolutely imperative that you learn the rules, you memorize them. So then this one gets drawn in fully. So it almost looks like it was a reflection, but we know that it actually was not. It was a reflection and then a rotation. Okay, so we combine those. Let's see if we got another one to try. Okay, we will do one more together. Let's see. Let's do, that's a rotation and then a reflection. And the last one, same thing, rotation and 90. Alright, we can do this one right here. Okay, we'll do number 2. We'll skip number 3. So the first thing I want to do is write out those points so I can keep track of my work. Okay, and I'm going to graph them. -2, 3, -5, 0, -1, -2. Then I'm going to get my ruler and connect them. If you need rulers, guys, they're in the pink cup on the bookshelf in the front of the room on the left-hand side. Alright, then rotate 270 clockwise. Well, that's the same as 90 counterclockwise. So I know that the rule is to switch the order, and counterclockwise is this way, so I'm going to change the sign of the front. So switch the order, change the sign in front. Switch the order, change the sign in front. Oh, 0 doesn't have a sign, so I leave it. Change the order, change the sign in front. Okay, so you don't even really have to graph this if you know what you're doing, because we're just ghosting it in there anyways. So we don't even really need to graph it. We're going to use those points down here. So it doesn't tell me I have to graph it, and it's a composition. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to put in, let's see, reflect the image over the x-axis. So the rule for reflecting over the x-axis is to keep the x, change the sign of the y. So then L prime, I'm using these from up here, L prime would then be -3, 2. M prime would then be 0, 5. And N prime would then be 2, 1. Okay, so now let's plot those. -3, 2. There it is. That's going to be L prime. Then 0, 5 is going to be M prime. And N prime is going to be 2, 1. And I'm going to connect them. Oh, that wasn't a very straight line for using a ruler. There we go. So it almost looks like it was just translated, but it was actually rotated and then reflected. So the rotation would have moved it down here, and then that got reflected up over the x-axis. So that's all you're doing, using your rules to create different combinations. So the homework is pages 26 through 29. I know it sounds like a lot, but before you go crazy, actually take a look at it. It is, and I'm already done. It is 7 problems. That's it. So don't go crazy, and you're skipping number 2. So you're doing 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you have 6 problems to do. So don't start whining until you take a look at what you're doing. Alright, that's it. We will see you guys tomorrow.